Hello, viewers. A warm welcome to you all from the Global Goans Art Club, which is an online forum found on Facebook. This social platform has been initiated by us with the intention of encouraging artists from Goa to share with us about their artistic forays with a view to help showcase their work to our global audience through the little chats in our program titled Different Strokes. Different Strokes is brought to you and relayed via our YouTube channel, Global Goans Art Club. We shall strive to bring to you conversations with budding Goan artists and talent as we journey together to give you an insight into their work, get to know what inspires them, and also hope that in turn, they too will be able to share their valuable experiences and some of their tips with our upcoming artists and young talent in Goa and also across the globe. My name is Maria Gomes Fernandez, a resident of Mumbai, although I've spent the last 2 decades living in East Africa and now back home to India. And today, I am your host for this episode of Different Strokes. And I'm very, very happy to introduce to you our guest artist for today, who is none other than a young, beautiful, chirpy, and ever smiling young lady, our very own artist from Goa, Miss Leticia Alvarez. Leticia Alvarez hails from Goa, and she is a graduate of painting from the Goa College of Art, who then went on to complete her master's degree in printmaking from the Maharaja Sayaji Rao University, Baroda. For one so young, her work draws the eye to the stark depiction of life and its varied emotions, reflected not only in the choice of her subject, but also the medium that she uses and the tools. So come along, let's explore and discover a little more about her artistic journey thus far. Welcome to Different Strokes, dear Leticia, and thank you for agreeing to be our guest today on this interactive platform.
To start with, thank you, Maria, for that amazing introduction. I think it was totally hyped. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share more than my journey, printmaking as a medium, because that is something that I really want to do at every given opportunity. So yeah, I am a printmaker, and I have chosen printmaking as my specialization, wherein I specialize in woodcut. And so I would love to spread the print medium and tell you all as much as I know as of now, to encourage your viewers and the budding artist also.
That's wonderful. And that's not a hyped introduction. It's very, very lovely introduction to a vivacious and a charming, smiling young lady. Now tell us, Leticia, what inspired you or influenced you to be an artist? I mean, as you were growing up, did you always think to yourself that you were going to be an artist? Or was it something that, came across to you some inspiration one great day? and you decided to be an artist. Tell us something about your inspiration.
So to start with, my story is not like any other artist where they say, before they held a spoon, they were holding a brush in their hand, nothing like that. So it was a normal childhood, and then I went to school, and then as usual, like a distracted child, I remember like there was this one teacher who was narrating a poem from our textbook, and I started drawing, and I got so indulged that I drew all over the text as well. And when my exams came, I did not know what to study because the texts were all covered with my strange looking creatures and drawings. So then later on in school, they made me the art minister. And that's when I thought, art actually has weightage, because usually you make like the head girl and all, like really intelligent and brilliant students, like academic wise. But where they gave me a chance, then I knew there was actually scope in this. I mean, it is actually valued.
That's
And
so did you actually get some marks for that?
no marks at all. But I was amazed because I'm an average student, like academic wise, but and for everyone to see that art can actually make a difference, it can get you there. That's just to start with. School level, that's like just the basic, but some weightage and some value, because everyone has this misconception that, like if you draw, you're just drawing and scribbling, that's all about it. But I think everyone should know that it has weightage, it has a lot of weightage. That is, if you really want to pursue it, give it your 100% and you will reach somewhere, provided you stick to what you have decided. Because again, that decision is yours, you have chosen it, it's not forced. Other professions are usually forced on you, like if you want to be, parents make you become a doctor or an engineer, but this is something that we fight for and we get into. So I think we have to value at least our decision that we have made and stick to it and continue, and you have to reach somewhere. Not now, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 years, but yeah, if you stick to it, I think there is success in everything.
Absolutely. So basically, you knew when you finished your high school days that you were going to pursue your interest and your and take up being an artist as your profession, right?
Yes.
So how did you go about making this dream a reality for yourself?
When I finished my 12th, I said I will join fine arts. So I joined, and like every other student, I was like just like living my college life. I was not that serious, but the moment I said, let me go and do my master's. The moment I went out of Goa and lived away from home, I started doing my own things, like from basic cooking, cleaning to things like that, living alone. I understood myself a little better. I gave my work 100%. And I think that really transformed me. That's not only self-realization, that is something that even many of my seniors have told me, that I have transformed over these 2 years that kept me away from home. And it gave me like a reality check, like what's really happening. I am capable. That's why I, come at least this far. And if I put in little more, by God's will, I hope I progress. Yeah.
Great. How would you classify your journey in Goa itself? I mean, being based now, you're back to, after having finished your studies, you came back to Goa. Do you think it's an easy environment for artists in Goa, specifically in Goa?
Actually, what happens is, to start with, when you, like for me, when I was studying in Baroda, the environment was very artist friendly because there were only artists around. So it was very easy not only to create art, even to get inspiration. When you look at someone working, you are like, even I should work. So when I just came back here, it changed because I got my family back. I got my friends back, like non-artists. And then at the start, it was really difficult. This is what most of the artists don't really talk about, when they come back home. And it's like a total detachment from that world here. But I think the Goan artists are very supportive, like the seniors and the senior artists and your seniors in college too. I think they are a little too supportive, you ask them for help. And the thing is that everyone goes through a similar phase. So they know that phase, that really crucial time that can make or break you. You can even leave it. And I think
Very.
everyone is really supportive. So that is amazing. So for the
So
young
you,
ones out there, if you all ever want to take advice, I mean, everyone's like ready. That is amazing, I think.
that's
Yeah.
great. So basically, you have been supported by other artists in Goa
Yes.
who've been ready to help your journey along and provide wisdom to you. Anyone
Yes.
you would like to make mention about, or generally any person who has been your mentor and guided your journey thus far?
Actually, from the time I was in 9th, 10th, I was under this artist who is Rajendra Usapkar. He is also a
Okay,
printmaker. And that's where even he has passed out from Baroda. That's why I landed up there in the first place.
great.
And I remember he used to be teaching me in a very different way, where he said many things. He spoke about different things where I did not actually know that he was telling me things for me to register. I was just listening. But the day of the entrance exam, when the question paper came to me, I knew all the answers, not because I had studied or referred to the internet or anything like that, because he had been talking about these things indirectly. I think that's why it registered so well. And also, yeah, to start with, they
Great.
say that Goa was the first place where the Jesuits brought the printing press. So we
Yes.
have printmaking in the air. We have
Yes.
printmaking in the air, and we have amazing printmakers.
Great.
And to start with, I think one of my favorite is Walter D'Souza. He is a Goa-based. He's a Goan. He's based in Ahmedabad at present, and he's such a senior artist, but so down to earth. And I remember, like, I would like to make a mention of this one project that was Goa Open Arts that happened, like the first edition. So it was headed by Walter D'Souza, and we were 10 Goan printmakers who had a section, and everything was displayed. And it was a privilege for me that they let me display my work with theirs, because all the other printmakers, they were like really eminent printmakers, and I have
Wonderful.
been
So it has
looking
been
at
a
their work.
very, yeah, it's been a very
Yes,
supportive environment for
of
you
course,
to
of
work.
course, of course,
Wonderful.
yes.
So can you talk to us now about exactly, your art, exactly what you do, what is printmaking,
Yes.
how do you go about choosing your subjects, what inspires you to pick up a particular subject, what kind of medium do you use, and the tools that you use? Please go ahead.
Yeah, of course. So I work with uh, woodcut. Okay. So this is a wood block, something that I just found while walking in my garden. Right. So I really like, how you say sculpture. They say that there is a form in every rock or every stone, and it is the job of the sculptor to get it out. So I believe in a similar way that all surfaces have something hidden in it. And if we can see it, why not bring it out? So I carve any wood that I get. And because it is printmaking, it's a little technical. So it depends on how much ink the wood can retain. So I just carve, and then if it prints, doesn't print, that is like the next step. So this is a wood block. Okay. So this is like a normal wood, a wooden cube kind of thing. So what I did is, what we do is I show you the tools. So this is the box that I have. That tools. Okay, can you all see?
Yes.
That tools. Yeah, like small chisels. Okay, and this has a nice rounded tip, if you all can see.
Yes.
There's a nice small chisel.
Sure.
So what we do is, after, so the block is flat. First we use a sandpaper and we flatten the surface entirely, and then you draw, and then you start carving, like the wood area that you see, the brown area is just carved. So it works like negative and positive. You start carving,
Yes.
and then I can show you the print of this. So this was the print that I pulled out from that block, one side of that block.
Okay.
Yes. And you can't imagine, because what happens is, what I do, I try to retain. I think wood is like a very organic living thing, and you can really see it because of these small grains that wood has. I feel it's breathing, like how we have
It
pores.
has
The
life.
wood is
Yes.
also, yes, it has life. As compared to, we have another medium called as linoleum, that is also surface printing, but that is like a rubber-based polymer. And for starters, like for the ones who just want to start, I think that is an amazing material to start with because the surface is really um, it's soft as compared to wood. So I can start with that if at all anyone is interested.
So that's the medium that you use, and you
Yes.
begin your work from there. So your prints are then generally onto another surface, yeah? So what is that surface?
I basically use a lot of rice paper,
Okay.
because
Yes.
it is when you say printmaking, everyone has this misconception that they are mechanically produced prints, whereas
Okay.
what we do is the artist creates the design, carves the design, and also prints it manually.
Yes.
As I'm sure everyone has done that, during
So
the
in a way,
time.
you are also a sculptor. In a way, you are also a sculptor
A
because
little bit.
yes, because you actually have to sculpt onto the first medium, and
Yes.
then use your colors or whatever, and then get the print out from it. So it's quite. So how long would a normal project, or say some particular art form that you're going to work on, how long does it take you? Does it involve a lot of preparation? But generally, how long?
Actually, it takes me little time because what I do is I work. If you see my cutting, like this is one print. These are the white is the area that I have carved out, and if you
Yes.
see, it's like very rough. Okay, it's
Yes.
very crudely cut. So I work really fast because I like to put all my energy that I have like onto the tip of my tool to just carve it out. So I work really quickly. But only the main important thing is conceptualizing your visuals of what you want to tell the
Yes.
viewer.
Sure.
So that takes a little time sometimes. Otherwise, it's more of intuition for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do is what affect, you draw your inspiration from the environment around you, or
Yes.
life's various incidences. Have you actually done something that has depicted life during the last couple of months or year, while we've been through the pandemic? Have you worked on anything?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'd like to have, maybe if you have something to show us, or if
This
not,
one actually, there is this thing. It's called Dark Knight. So the
yes,
project is ongoing now. So this is the. Can you see the entire frame?
yeah,
Can you see
a
the
little up,
entire
yeah,
frame?
yes, a little
So
up,
this
yeah.
is something that I'm working on now. And
Great.
because of the current situation of the third wave, it's going to be affecting the children. So this is
Yes.
a child that's not a newborn, who's going to be born very soon, and the environment around. So I have been working. So these are just proofs. These are not final prints. So we carve, we print, and then if there are changes to be made, we work till we are satisfied. So these
Okay.
are it's just a proof now. So I will work till I'm satisfied, like with the visuals.
Okay. So it
Yes.
means that this is not your final. The print that you've first taken is not your
No,
final. You go
no,
back to
it's
your medium and you rework on it.
yes,
And
yes.
oh, that's wonderful. So yeah, so you're satisfied. So it's not that first medium that you use is your final product,
No,
final
but the
art.
thing is that we have to be like really careful because
Yes.
it's wood. Once you carve out, you cannot really put it back in. So
True.
you have to be really careful for like the things that you scoop out, the material that you scoop out.
Absolutely. So, how would you say? Do you get your tools and your, the artwork materials? Do you get it very easily in Goa, or do you have to, source it from other places?
Actually, the ones that I'm using now, one of my uncle has got them for me, but as a student and for many years, I still use them. These normal woodcut tools that you get at the hardware, I think those are good enough. I mean, but you have to keep sharpening them. use a
Okay.
sandpaper, sharpen your tools, and they are good enough. It's not that like there are most of us have this misconception that your material has to be really expensive or like of a different type. But I don't think that is the case. I think we should make do with
Okay.
whatever is available. Yeah.
I see from the little that I've seen on your page, basically on your Facebook page, I see a lot of stock images. I talked about that in my, can you actually elaborate a little on that?
So my work is mostly autobiographical, okay, and that most of the people around might think it's contradictory to who I am and the way I talk and express myself.
Yes.
But that is all because they say art is a medium of expression. So what I do is anything that bothers me or some emotional trauma or things that I see around that disturb me, instead of getting depressed and things like that, I try to do something productive with that energy, because that energy is immense. It cannot be contained. So I think for me personally, this is the best thing, because it's a lot of physical energy that I have, and I can just carve it out. And so I try to do it in that way rather
Great.
than taking it.
So it's your
Myself,
personal
yeah.
experiences as well
Yes.
that really influence your work. And I think in today's world, we see so much of the different aspects of life. I mean, we're seeing the very lows of life today. So, but in spite of
Yes.
that, I think there is always hope. So,
Of course.
so hope is always what comes out at the end of your, your artwork. Yeah, so wonderful. Can you tell us something about, yes, you're an artist, but we also know that you teach. So could you elaborate a little for us about what life as a teacher means for you? And I know you teach children, so please tell us something about that.
Yeah, so to start with, when I just finished my master's, I came down. I didn't want to teach, but then there was an opening at Sanjay School, Port William, which is a special school for special kids. So I said, now that I know this much, not so much, a little, I will try to teach what I know to these kids. And I think that is the place that transformed me totally. And for this one instance, that the children there and the parents, they treat like at the start, I did not know whose child is whose and who's the mother, who's the child. They treated everyone equally. I couldn't tell because I had just joined and I did not know. But I think that was an amazing experience that changed my life. And so after that, at present I'm teaching at NCS, Navy Children's School.
Okay.
And so what I want to do is, as a teacher, I have a little power to tell them to do what I want to. So I want to give them the freedom to do what they want.
Great.
Because I think art at the school level is just expressing yourself, just coloring on your book, on the table, on the wall. But later on, as you progress, if you take art as a career and you go to fine arts college, then instead of scribbling on the wall, you still scribble on the wall, but you make it a mural. It's the same thing. It's just a little refined.
Yes, absolutely. So can you say something about the art curriculum in Goa? Just since you're based in Goa, is it a very encouraging curriculum for the children in Goa itself?
You're talking about school level?
Yes,
At
school
the
level.
I remember having art till I think 8th standard or 7th standard. But the current school that I am teaching at, maybe children's school, I think it is amazing because they can take art even in the 10th. They can drop maths or science and take art. And I think it has really uplifted the children. Totally, their self-confidence and everything. And it doesn't really have to be a special child to take art.
Sure.
There are normal children who are taking, and I think that gives them the power to speak and express themselves and transform them as a person as an individual. So
wonderful. That's wonderful.
Schools have to, if we can, we should introduce this.
Be encouraging to the children so that at a very young age they can actually tap into their latent talents and take it onwards. And it's also a form of expression. So many people find it difficult to speak, but this is a form of expression. So yes, wonderful.
Yes.
What about how do you go about exhibiting your artworks? Do you utilize exhibitions or art galleries? Can you tell us something about that? And have you only localized your exhibitions, or have you also been exposed to the international world? Sorry, please.
To start with, it is very sad, but it is very difficult for young artists to really show their work, because just doing the work and keeping it with you is not enough. You have to, not for the selling purpose. When a viewer looks at your work, the emotion that comes out, the artist actually wants to see that more than, for it to get sold and things like that. It is a little difficult, but I think most of my peers are trying to do their best, and my dad has opened a small gallery above his shop. We are called Galleria di Goa, and
Okay.
I try to
Where is
have
this?
work. We are based in Para.
Okay,
That
wonderful.
is the north side of Goa. Yes.
Okay.
I try my best to have works exhibited of at least who are in my reach, and it is very difficult to get a place to exhibit. That is true. But I'm
Okay.
trying to do my part, like a little that
So
I
you
can.
basically, you're lucky enough to have this place, the Galleria di Goa,
Yes,
and this is in Para, right?
yes, we are based in Para. And
Okay.
I have small shows. I have
Okay.
like 2-3 shows in a year. As
Okay.
of now, we are shut because of the current situation. Yeah.
Okay. Any special message or a pearl of wisdom that you'd like to share with the upcoming budding artist in Goa, or even across the diaspora, because this program will be viewed by people all across the world. So something for the young artist, the struggling artist, or even the well-settled artist, the budding artist. Please go ahead, my dear.
I will only say for the budding artist. And yeah, so I think the most important tool, I believe that we as artists are like magicians. We can create, and we should use it as our advantage, and sketch a lot, sketch till you draw. And drawing is the main tool. So that is what I think. I wouldn't generalize, but I think most of the students do not give so much weightage on drawing. They tend to skip that part and just go with the colors and things like that. So I think the base has to be really strong, and then you can distort.
Great.
So that is one thing. And do not run after, most of the younger generation, I would say, I want to create a style. I want to create a style. They go after that.
Okay.
But I do not really think that is true. The moment you give it your 100%, truly yours, not copy work, no reference from looking around and the internet, and
Yes.
give it your 100%. Do what you see, because all of us have a set of eyes which we view things differently. We look at colors totally differently. You might look at a shade of green and you can see it differently. I can see it totally different. So I shouldn't be doing what you see. Do what you see, and that is going to make it different. Obviously, it's going to make it different. So that is a very everyone has this problem of this style, but it just comes. You just be free, give it your 100%.
So
the
be
style is there.
original. Yeah, be original. Be yourself when you depict and portray what you want to say to the rest of the world. Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wonderful. Anything else? Any other thing you'd like to share before? It's been a really wonderful conversation with you, Letitia. Very young, but I see a lot of hard work that you're putting into this entire venture. So yes, you're a teacher, and utilizing your talent, your time with the younger generation, an absolutely wonderful thing to do. And I'm sure you also volunteer and help out. So it's really nice. Anything else you'd like to say before we sign off for today?
I think I've said a little too much. That's enough.
No,
Yeah.
it's been wonderful. It's been really very nice. I think a little chat, but it's been wonderful to hear about your journey this far. And Letitia, we wish you all the best, and more so from the Global Goans Art Club. We like to keep having you, spend time on our page, put out your artworks for the rest of the globe to also have a look. And to all you viewers, thank you for being with us for this wonderful journey with Letitia Alvarez, our very own from Goa, a very upcoming, budding, cheerful young lady. Thank you very much, Letitia. And I hope you will be featuring once again sometime later and give us much more to see on Different Strokes. So to all you viewers, thank you. Please continue to watch the episodes that we bring to you under the name titled Different Strokes and seen via our YouTube channel, Global Goan Art Club. Thank you and bye-bye.